Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, we hear from folks in Lee County about the progress they've made with flood recovery. And President Trump makes another reversal on his newly imposed tariffs.
And temperatures today were in the 40s. The warming trend continues. I'll tell you when coming up.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. It's been nearly 3 weeks since the severe floods that hit eastern Kentucky. The city of Beattyville in Lee County was one of the places that had to evacuate because of those floods. Ben Beddoes went there today to learn more about their recovery efforts.
It's been nearly 3 weeks since the town of Beattyville saw the Kentucky River rise and flood some areas. The good news is recovery efforts this time around are a little bit smoother. Beattyville is becoming all too familiar with flooding. Flooding back in 2021 really caught the town by surprise. That event has stayed fresh on people's minds, and they were more prepared when river flooding struck once again.
It had some early warning, systems, and we were expecting it. We were able to move most of our equipment out of the coroner's office, and most of the business were able to move things. So, that gave us an opportunity to prepare a little bit better this time than it was last time.
Sloan says most everything is back up and running. One part of the cleanup was getting mud and silt out of the streets from the river when it came up. On the farming aspect, many farms experienced damage to fields, but UK's Lee County Extension agent says recovery is going well for farms too.
There was significant damage this time with this flooding, with sand deposits, erosion type issues, loss of fencing.
Despite recovery efforts going better this time around, it's still exhausting to go through more flooding.
It's bad to say that you're getting used to it. You don't want to say that. You never get used to it, but you get, it's really hard for my farmers. It's getting really hard for them year after year when these impacts, these storms come through, to recover.
In Beattyville, I'm Ben Beddoes, WKYT.
Getting exhausting for everyone. Johnson says he's really worried how much more flooding farmers in Lee County will be able to endure. In Floyd County, plans are moving forward to renovate a historic high school gym after flooding destroyed equipment and parts of the building. The D.W. Howard Fieldhouse, affectionately known as the Dome, has been a topic of discussion before for renovations, but after the flooding, the Floyd County Board of Education decided it was time to move forward with fixing it up. Betsy Lane Elementary Principal Jonathan Parsons says other parts of the gym were damaged during the flood.
When the water came into the gym, it came in from the front and the back. And when it did that, they actually got in the locker rooms first. So football equipment, basketball machines, uniforms, and we're trying to wash it and stuff, but because the temperature was so cold and then so hot back and forth, that some things have already started molded.
The superintendent says it's too early to tell how much the renovation project will cost. 2 more eastern Kentucky counties are now eligible for FEMA assistance. Homeowners or renters living in Johnson County or Estill County can now apply for FEMA's individual assistance program. FEMA may provide grants to help pay for temporary housing and essential home repairs. Police say a deadly fire at a well-known restaurant in Claiborne County, Tennessee started as an accident. One person was found dead after a fire inside the Bronco Mexican Grill in Harrogate. They say that person died of smoke inhalation. The TBI is helping the sheriff's office with the investigation.
Well, we only made it into the 30s and 40s for today. The warming trend will go through as we go throughout the weekend. We'll see highs going back into the mid-50s. For your Friday outside, we're seeing temperatures hovering right around freezing in Clintwood, upper 20s in Wise, 36 in Wise, as well as hazard 40s from Boonville to Manchester, down towards London, over towards the Monticello area. So here's the latest now. As we go throughout the next several hours, you can see on the WYMT First Alert Weather app, you'll get your hour-by-hour forecast, and we'll see temperatures hovering in the mid to upper 30s. We'll stay partly cloudy by the 7 o'clock hour, mostly clear by 8 p.m. We'll see clear skies as we go throughout the overnight hours. Clouds will pick up, though, as we go throughout the middle part of the overnight, going into the morning hours of your Friday. But live pinpoint Doppler radar right now showing a clean sweep throughout eastern Kentucky, and that trend will continue for the next few hours. Rain chances, though, are in the forecast. I'll tell you when, plus the warming trend coming up in the first alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
All right, looks nice outside right now, but definitely chilly. Well, yesterday, President Trump announced a 1-month reprieve from tariffs on cars coming in from Mexico and Canada as part of the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement. Today, more products from Mexico will get a temporary reprieve from the taxes. CBS's Erica Brown has the latest from the White House.
President Trump says he's agreed to a temporary pause on tariffs for many goods coming in from Mexico as part of the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement. He posted, Mexico will not be required to pay tariffs on anything that falls under the USMCA agreement. This agreement is until April 2nd. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum praised Trump for the decision and said nearly every product Mexico exports falls under the agreement.
I've yet to have a business from Kentucky come to me and say they want tariffs.
Republican Senator Rand Paul says business leaders in his state are telling him tariffs will hurt their companies and the economy.
We're talking about exemptions because even the people for them acknowledge that there are real problems with tariffs.
Thank you.
Trump is also pressing ahead with downsizing government. Cabinet secretaries met with Elon Musk Thursday to talk about the Department of Government Efficiency's efforts to cut costs and staff. CBS News has learned the administration is working on an executive order to begin the process of dismantling the Department of Education.
We have to reduce spending to pay down debt, and we have to reduce spending to lower prices for consumers, and that's a good place to start.
Democratic lawmakers say the president doesn't have the authority to eliminate the Department of Education.
The Department of Education is created by law, and there are lots of laws that define and mandate particular programs.
Anybody that disagrees with this, let's put it in the courts and let the courts rule.
Education Secretary Linda McMahon said during her confirmation hearing that she agreed with Trump's vision to send education back to the states. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump says the United States will move forward with reciprocal tariffs on April 2nd on foreign nations that have import taxes on U.S. goods. The bill to create Kentucky's own Office of Government Efficiency is closer to becoming law. The bill is heading to the Senate now that the House has approved it. Supporters say Kentucky's DOGE would find and eliminate wasteful spending. In this proposal, the state auditor would run the office. The auditor would review state agencies to ensure taxpayers' money is being spent responsibly. If it becomes law, the office would start working sometime next year. Kentucky Congressman Morgan McGarvey co-sponsored legislation to reinstate veterans fired by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. McGarvey, a member of the House Veterans Affairs Committee, co-sponsored the Protect Veteran Jobs Act. He says veterans make up roughly 30% of the federal workforce. While on the House floor today, Congressman McGarvey highlighted the story of Tim Nicolazzi, a veteran from Louisville who was fired by HUD last month.
After his honorable discharge, Tim's call to public service brought him to HUD, where he's helped victims of domestic abuse in Louisville find safety, helped veterans get off the streets, and helped first-time home buyers achieve their American dream. But a few weeks ago, Tim was fired. No notice, no severance, no compassion.
The bill affects veterans who were fired or dismissed without cause from a civil service position beginning on January 20th of this year. That's the day President Trump took office. A bill to ban cell phones in classrooms has passed the Tennessee State Senate. The measure is now on its way to Governor Bill Lee's desk. The bill will require schools to put together policies restricting student cell phone use. Along with that, schools will have to put together plans to keep parents informed during emergency situations. The Florida woman who was once accused of killing her 2-year-old daughter in 2008 has joined a popular social media platform. Casey Anthony launched a TikTok account to reintroduce herself to the public. Anthony also has a newsletter to professionally promote herself as a legal advocate. In her first TikTok video, the 38-year-old said she wants to advocate for herself and her daughter. She also says this is a way to support others who are targeted and attacked. A solemn ceremony in Washington honoring U.S. hostages and Americans being wrongfully detained abroad. Former Israeli hostages, detainees, and their families were in attendance for a special flag-raising ceremony today at the State Department. FBI Director Kash Patel delivered remarks at the event and pledged his agency will work with the intelligence community to bring home all Americans detained or held hostage in foreign countries.
Just imagine if one of yours was taken. What would you do, and what would you expect of the United States government to do to return them to you? And the simple answer from this administration, from President Trump, from Secretary Rubio, is we will do everything. This is a top priority.
President Trump issued what he called a last warning to Hamas this week to release all remaining hostages held in Gaza or face death. Pope Francis is still stable after several episodes of acute respiratory failure on Monday. The Vatican's Thursday update also noted he is continuing working while in the hospital. The 88-year-old pontiff has been battling double pneumonia since entering the Rome hospital in mid-February. The Pope also sounded weak during an audio message to thank people for their prayers. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, before you splurge your tax refund, a little planning could go a long way. We share some smart ways to make your money work for you.
And in the world of weather, we have rain chances and a few days where we have lots of sunshine. I'll tell you when coming up.